You're a very humorous bunch.
Okay. Looks like we are back online. Sorry about that, guys. That was just my internet connection messing up. So we were just saying,
No worries.
we were going to the second point. What can you announce? Future plans?
Palmo, take it away.
All right, so as I already did mention it, the 9th Age 10th anniversary is coming up on June 30th. Next month already, and it'll have been 10 years. There are some events being planned, some news, perhaps big ones, and even a Well, I suppose I can already promise it because I am going to make it a reality. There will be a 9th Age 10th anniversary online tournament
Oh,
for the entire community, whoever
excellent.
wishes to take part.
Excellent.
There will be prize pools that will be important in many different ways, but I cannot say anything about those just yet, sadly.
Seems to be funny. I'm looking forward to see the prices.
I will hopefully be able to satisfy.
Okay, excellent.
First prize is 1 year enrollment in the 9th Age, 2 years enrollment.
This is how I get my staff yachts before.
Of course,
Nice.
in the what's the word, announcements relating to the game itself, as those who have watched or seen the roadmap for this year,
Yeah.
the supplement army updates are coming very soon. Hopefully starting this month already.
Excellent.
Following that, it will be supplement releases all the way to the beginning of the fall, where we will once again begin to work on the 3rd edition's next phase. Whatever that will entail. I do not know yet, as it is being planned by the game design teams.
Okay.
But we will be back to work. It's already been quite a good break thus far.
Yeah, I guess that, yeah. Callison, you talked about other aspect of the game like hobby and stuff. Can you announce something on this level that you have as project maybe?
No, at the moment we're brainstorming with all the involved team members to see what we could develop a bit more. So we have nothing to announce. There's still ideas, and practically most ideas will be killed sooner or later, but perhaps one or two will make their way and improve the life of a hobbyist sooner or later. So I wish that we would have something, but right now we have nothing serious to say.
Okay.
Then on my other hat, RPG. So we are working on that. We hope to have one day a public test version to release, but I have no idea when it might happen because I see a lot has been done, but so much remains to be done as well. So we're more than halfway, but still a lot needs to be done, and we're so few to do it. So join the team, and it will come faster.
Okay. That's good advice.
A lot of characters to flesh out the world and give some examples of the kinds of figures who are active in the setting, and people can hopefully get excited about their role in the background.
Okay. Yeah, that looks interesting. Do you have anything to add for Cities Muse, maybe?
Well, to make it all happen, we're gonna need people.
That's it. Okay.
So if we have members looking to join us, come.
Very good. Yeah, I think that's key. I think if people
Yes,
want
it is
to
key.
help the project, that they need to engage themselves. So obviously, that's a good call. I would suggest, guy, we could move to
It's
Q
a
and
hell of a
Yeah.
work. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Absolutely insane, unreasonable. It's not paid,
Yeah.
but for some reason we're still there after 10 years. So maybe there's also some positive things with that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I think it's very impressive the amount of work that you invest without being able to play that much and enjoy that much actually what you work for. That's very, very impressive.
Oh, creation is fun. I mean, for me, that's the best part.
Okay.
People like better. Some people like better to play, but if you're a bit creative, wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And you've seen only what we have released, but there's so much more that we have not released yet because it's not ready, and we're waiting for people to help us to make it happen. But yeah, inside so much. Four Cities Muse.
I just want to say it's also the community that we are creating ourselves.
Yeah.
The international community, friends we're making, the people we get to know. I mean, that's a big thing for me. That's why I stick around, because all of you guys.
Yeah, like you say, I think we are all together in this, and that's something quite important. This community.
Yeah.
Okay, I have some question on the chat. I have also been able to collect some of questions, but first of all, yeah, apologies again for those of you who missed some little part. My network is slightly struggling tonight, but I hope it's not too annoying and it will work well until the end. I have some questions from the chat and from that I collect. So maybe the first one was, are we going to get the faction guideline? I recall seeing some of the stuff, reading some stuff in individual faction forum, but here the question was, will they be fully available? I don't know if they are yet and where they are, so I would be intrigued also to know about that. But I think they were published.
We used to have the old guidelines, yeah. I'm actually not quite. We had the internal guideline during the early process of the 3.0. There was a plan to flesh those out later on in the process.
Yeah.
But I don't think that has been developed further from there. It's a bit outside my own area of expertise. However, I do know that currently the senior designers are working on codifying the different play styles and what exactly they mean within the context of the 9th age, as there are a lot of in-game terms that people use a bit differently to each other.
Yeah.
Like MSU, MMU, chaff, what exactly everything means.
Yeah.
But I will have to check on that, but sadly, that will take a while, so I cannot answer immediately.
No problem. Yeah, I think here the concern was also from the player to know if that's going to be shared and mainly also discussed. So will players' opinion take into account if they think that, I don't know if the people here are mentioning I remember something about army weakness and strength, stuff like that. So I don't know if they are referring to that. I think that has been discussed already a while ago and has been, I recall seeing something in the individual forum. So I would guess that was that. But I don't know if there is any more than those high level guidelines for army books.
Ah, yes, the old army strengths and weaknesses. They were quite disliked back in the day. But yes, there will be guidelines like those again.
Okay.
Not like that, because there was a reason why the army strengths and weaknesses were much maligned by the community due to how they define different things about armies in very restrictive ways.
Yeah.
Guidelines like that will exist again, but I am not sure if they will be openly available. However,
I recall
believe
what
they
you
will
say.
be.
Yeah, I recall what
Yes,
there were some controversies on forum about those things because players have their individual view about that, I think. And I would also be interested in something. Do you spend a lot of time on forums?
Oh yes.
Which forums exactly?
Okay, I would say total. Just how much percentage is that from the amount you invest in the project each week? Is it like 50%? Is it like 70? Is it like 20?
90.
Oh, okay, for you and the rest of you.
100.
Okay,
For me, it's probably around 50-50.
yeah,
I go through the open forums basically whenever I have the time for it, because going through the closed forums always takes a bit more time.
yeah. And you, Scottish Knight, what do
I
you?
like to add. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, I tend to spend a lot of my time working on the forum areas that are dedicated to the background, not necessarily in the public forum areas. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's my point as well, which forums, because I
Okay,
spend
yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, there is a big difference between like managing open forum where community is talking and actually part of the forum where you do your work, basically.
Yeah.
Yes. So the forum structure, we have basically half of the forum which is open to everybody in the public, and another half which actually is bigger in term of a number of threads and posts, way bigger than the public part, where people work. So you have the game design team, which is visible to all the game designers plus a few happy few, but not to all the team. Then you have also internal part for the team who are not involved in game design, but doing, for example, the hobby. They have their own part and so on. So you have a lot of parts in the forum which are hidden from the community, where people can work without being harassed all the time by the community.
Okay.
And the reason we did that is not because we love secrecy, but it is necessary for people to work to be cut off from
Definitely the
people who
noise.
are
Yeah, yeah.
too enthusiastic but cannot well see only one aspect of the game and are not willing to discuss everything. So it's a complex structure of the forum, but that's how it works. Also, interesting question is for the community. Everybody wishes to be part of those who say next army book will be in that direction or that direction. Um, Initially, when we did the first edition, there was a heavy involvement of the community. But at that time, it was rough design. We had to make something readily available without giving much thought about it. Then, since the team realized it was too much trying to copy another game, and this was not possible anymore, so the reverse was done to develop the game for the second edition. Well, at least 1.3 was developed more without much involvement from the community. And of course, people in the community were um, a bit lost about that. They wished to be more part of that. So progressively, we gave more and more role to the ACS, the Army Community Support People. Initially, this role was conceived in one way from the project to tell the community this is what's happening inside, but progressively we made it more and more two ways. So the ACS people are definitely now the link between the community and the designers who have no time, when you're already spending 10 hours a week or even a day on creating the next version of the game, you have no time to spend on the open forum.
Yeah,
But the
indeed.
ACS, they do. And in the game design, we manage, when I say we, say that's the people who are not directly involved in the game design, manage to push the ACS to have a role and a say in how every army book was designed, so that at least there is a voice to tell the community would probably appreciate this and that, so that the designer are not left totally isolated, but they have someone who tell them, hey, don't do that because they will hate that. I know them. I'm with them every day. But if you could put a little bit of this or that, it will probably be successful. So
Okay.
yes, there is now a better dialogue. Now, of course, every designer is a player as well. So it's not like they are totally isolated. They are playing the game. They are playing the game in tournament, meeting people and everything. But you also have ACS who have now achieved a very important role in providing the some input from the community directly.
Yeah, indeed. I think that's a key risk for the ninth age is the fact that everybody has a voice is also a lot to work, a lot of inputs to work for you guys, and the role of the ECS here to manage that is indeed quite important. We have another question which is linked to the army book that you mentioned before, Calison. Will the lab process start again?
Oh, okay. The lab process has well, it's how we call to take an army book which was made initially 10 years ago and to adjust to the new background that we have developed and also to make it more distinct from all the other army books with the infamously known ASO, Army Strength and Weaknesses. So this has given the lab, which is the legendary army books. The intent was to have an army book with the rules, but also background, rich background, and artwork. And this is what we call legendary.
Yeah.
But what many people in the community felt is that in the process, you'd also stripe away all the taste of the book and just put a couple of nice pictures, but the flavor would be gone. We have realized that. And the next army books, there are still half of the army books which has not been processed.
Yeah.
They will be processed sooner or later because right now, if you look at dwarves, for example, whole dwarves,
Yeah.
nobody knows anything about of their background, do they? If you look at the highborn elves, you don't have much of their background. If you look at so many army books, they don't have the background. We already have thought about the background. We already have a couple of no pictures. We don't have many, but the background is already there. It should be implemented in the new army book. So this process, we still wish to do it for every army book that is missing their background. Now, we have learned the lesson also that we need not to stripe away the flavor that the old players have loved and maintain and also develop a little bit more of a typically ninth age flavor by doing that. So when you say will other army book will have their lab process, uh, sort of they will have a transformation because they still miss their
Yeah.
background and but the rules themselves probably will not be that much change as the early army book.
Okay.
You have to realize that we started with the army book that needed most
Yeah.
most of the changes, and we postpone those who did not need that much change. So those army book remaining will not see a change in the rules as comprehensive
Yeah.
as what was done for demon legions and warrior of the dark gods. But they will receive ultimately a background as rich as what you have seen for demon legions or
Yeah.
warriors of dark gods. So I hope that people will progressively look forward that their army receive a process of receiving their background and will not fear anymore that their army will lose compared to what they have now. I hope I have explained
Yeah, very
the
well.
spirit of what we do. Now,
Yeah,
the intention are there. How we do it, well, we'll see.
interesting. Yeah, I think that's good what you mentioned. I think the idea also behind the question where people a little bit afraid of what can happen with the lab. There's a lot of expectation and people disappointing and stuff. So going a bit back and forth, a bit yeah, emotion also mixed up and stuff like that. So I think that's good what you're mentioning and makes to me as a player a lot of sense because we got a much more mature game with army book that are working. And maybe just as a side note, I was asked on one of my last battle report, you play a lot of competitive game, you play a lot of tournament. What are for you the top 5 faction at the moment? And I struggle to answer, to be honest. I had like 1 or 2 that I could say are for me top. For me, Warrior of the Dark, a lot of nerfs, so I don't know about that.
Usually, number one is the army against which I'm playing.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have the data about the current results, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. Huh. But yeah, Warriors are up there.
Okay.
They're always up there.
I'm not surprised. Maybe we can take back some question from the chat. And guys in the chat, if you have more questions, ask them. We'll try to make like another, another 10, 15 minutes to finish with the question. So we have a question from Agrael. Speaking of supplement army, is there any plan to make them official at one point or to add completely new armies?
So, I mean, I think it depends. What you mean by official is a challenge because where we are at the moment, they're released as a supplement. We maintain them, but we do it on the basis that we don't have to necessarily meet the same standards as all the other army books, and that means we don't have to delay when new releases of the rules come out because instead of working on 16 books, we're working on 64 books or, however many supplements there end up being. So the current compromise was put in place so that we could release supplements, we could give people new and interesting ways to explore their armies, but we weren't bound to maintaining them in the same way as the sort of main 16. Obviously, that compromise doesn't work for everyone, but it is open to tournaments to choose to use them, and so we really wanted to put that choice for tournament organizers to make.
Yeah, for example, French Interregio, I mentioned it before, more than 300 players and supplement army book are allowed. So I think that's still an active part or a strong possibility for even for tournaments.
Yeah, and I know the ETC hasn't allowed them in the main event, and for some people that's a big deal. But the ETC values things other than just variety and number of armies. So yeah.
And the second
I
part
can
of
tell you that there is there is regularly a strong push from tournament players to suppress the supplements. They hate them because there are so many more books that they have to study if they want to beat them. But every time we have such a hint that someone is pushing to suppress the supplement, we make sure that the supplements are here to stay. They are not meant for as competitive play as the main 16 faction, but they are here to stay because people have invested in their hobby. Myself, I'm going to play Dread Fleet, no more Dread Elves. And I can tell you, I don't want that Dread Fleet is gone in fourth edition whenever this one happens because some tournament players decided that this is not good to play against an army, such army. So they are here, they will stay. And they're very important also to enrich the world of the Ninth Age. And we intend to keep doing more supplements. That was the other part of your question. As we do the as we come over the next army books, there should be also new supplements. probably not as many as we have done so far. So do not expect 2 supplements per faction. This will not happen because it's just way too much work to maintain. But still, we wish to develop a couple more of supplements, most of them attached to the army books, because this is a very important part of the hobby, of the game, of developing the background, and of gaining the interest of people. And people, that including us, the designers. So yes, it's a balance to find between too many that we cannot sustain, and that is horrible for tournaments, or not enough, which would be better for tournaments, but we would lose many people who would be desperate to
Yeah,
lose their favorite supplement.
indeed. Yeah, I think what you just said is totally fine. I guess this game, there are different type of tournament. There are casual game, and I think it's totally fine that ETC doesn't use them. And on other type of event, like example the French Interregio, which is much more casual, you have the possibility to use them and enjoy the hobby in a different way. And I think the competitiveness of 9th Age event might differ from one event to another, and that's absolutely fine. And also, I think it would be I think, impossible for you guys to maintain all those supplement army book on the same standard of balance than the core 16 books. I think that would be just too much work.
There is also a very practical standpoint in that the supplements are needed by the game design team. Yes, needed. Because they are the first place where a new designer is put to work. They will get to experience the realities of design. They will get to let their imagination run wild, make important decisions, and most importantly, see player reactions.
Yeah.
And experience it when their work is put into the hands of real people and how they react to it.
Okay, interesting. We have the next question, which is relate a little bit to what you said before, Scottish Knight. It's about the idea, is there any plan to develop the game marketing to try to expand community, acquire player?
There have been many plans, and the biggest challenge is always it depends on people. Having a social media person who's regularly going out and posting and looking for new audiences. That is a really big part of trying to spread the name of the game. We are always looking at how we can better support people in developing local communities. We don't currently, ask for bigger donations in order to spend it on Facebook marketing or anything like that, because we don't necessarily know the best. We don't know what outcomes we would get from that, and we don't want to waste people's money. But if people are really keen and have good ideas on how they can help, then Forsetis Muse will always welcome applications to support. And we're always looking for the best ways that we can help grow the community if we can.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, it's not an easy task, I think. And I would say that various people also outside of the core part of the staff, and I'm thinking about myself, for example, and other content producers, I think we have a key role to play here to link between the project and the game and the community and potential new players as well. Because they might access to our game through YouTube videos, just getting on the battle report and thinking that's a cool game, it's amazing, and I want to know more, and then going to the game.
Yeah, we're currently missing some PR stuff, so if you have interest in public relations, get in contact.
Lot of advertisement tonight, but it's good. I think people are needed in this project, so it's good that you remind that. Speaking about content creators, there has been a question about that. The current link between creators and the 9th Age is quite weak from threads. Would it be possible to display their work better and more integrated to help people find good models for the project? I think so. Sorry, it doesn't speak about content creator, but about miniatures creators. I know that you have kind of in each sub forum. I recall there is like a library of miniatures, which is my opinion is quite good. But maybe is referring to getting something maybe more visual. I don't know if there are some things that you already have in mind to improve that.
I mean,
We have
yeah, I don't know that we have anything yet, but it is something that is worth us picking up with our web design team, I guess, because the miniature library is quite it's quite an old our infrastructure that was put in place a while ago. I still use it. I still go looking there when I think, where can I find a nice new model for this? But it might be something that can be presented in a more visual way. I'm not sure. Callison, you like to integrate with the companies, so maybe this is something that they would appreciate.
Sure. There are a few people who spend a lot of time gathering new models and posting that on the appropriate part of the website. Again, as usual, the problem is manpower. So
Yeah.
if someone is interested in doing that, welcome to the team. And us at Xboard, so the face you can see tonight, we're not going to do everything. We cannot. We do already too much. But what we can do is empower people. So if you have a good idea that will help 9th do this and that, tell us, I have this idea, so it could work on a miniature, sorting out and making more visible, and we will be very easy to convince, and we will really be happy that you become part of the team and start doing your own idea, because the 9th is not us, it's all of us,
Yeah.
including you.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I think people shouldn't be afraid also to reach out to you and maybe get even a small contribution. It doesn't have to be 10 hours per week for everybody. And I think,
God, no.
yeah, I think I can agree on that, that any kind of contribution might be useful from HR
Oh, and
perspective, right?
if you're not confident because you believe your English is not good enough, don't worry. See, after a couple of years, au départ, je suis français, and now you see my English. So it will improve. Don't worry.
Excellent. Okay, I'm taking next question. Can we get more
I just-
comprehensive? Yeah, you wanted to say something, please.
If I just may add to Callison's comment, most of us don't have English as a first language.
Yeah, that shouldn't be an issue, indeed. I was saying, so can we get more comprehensive explanation for changes in the future? Because sometimes changes are very baffling, and upon asking why certain changes were made, you only get a vague or no answer. Yeah, a bit provocative question, but I think it sums up also some frustration that some player might have when they see changes on Army Book, and maybe they're even referring to what you said before, Callison, with L Lab. That might be also a process that has been frustrating, because going through a lot of changes through a short period of time might be a bit of a roller coaster of emotion for players. Scottish Knight, you wanted to answer that?
Well, technically I can answer that, because this is very typically a problem on the game design side, that there is no official framework for like creating how to keep track of these answers, because this is typically left to the teams themselves. And quite often you do get good answers, but they get lost in pages upon pages of forum discussion. They are not actually saved anywhere.
Yeah.
For a lot of the game designers do write long, comprehensive messages about why something in their book was done, but then it gets asked again about tomorrow and the day after and next week and next month and next year, and the answer is still remaining somewhere deep within the forum archives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
So
that's a problem.
There are quickly answers, but that's a problem, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've gone through some periods of high speed of change, and that for the immediate future is not going to be the case. I think we will have a bit more time to focus on why things are changing, the reasons behind it. Maybe we can look at having a bit more structure around release notes. And yeah, I understand that it can be difficult when you don't understand the reasons behind a change. So, yeah, we'll take it on board and see if that's something that we can improve over time.
Yeah. I think related to that is a next question was what is the process with which you decide that you needs change? How important are, for example, new recruit pick rates? I know from my part, I know that there are data that you use, so definitely you can interpret and use those data, and that then you also put some how should I say, some qualitative analysis on your part from staff member, right? You have different teams involved in that. It's quite a complex process, I believe.
Yes, well, us, the ExB, we don't really decide any of that, but I can still answer it because I am part of that game design process. So that also depends on the team. The game design teams themselves are given fully free hands to do their work. So it will definitely differ from team to team. Some will purely use data. Some will ask the community. Some will just do what they believe is best. There is no official method by which you have to do things.
Okay.
You just do things. The pricing team, on the other hand, uses data. They look at pick rates and win rates and decide based on those.
Okay, yeah.
It's quite that simple, really.
Yeah, indeed, it's quite simple, actually. I think what we would like, it's something I'm saying also on my background, because I'm an analyst on the professional life and I love to analyze data, but maybe to make those data analysis, data that you have a bit more available or easier to get. I know that from time to time you have been publishing something on forums, I have been reading stuff, and I think it's quite interesting. Maybe that could be a section that could be developed a bit more, but I know what you're going to answer me. Manpower is probably here missing to develop that. I know that some people are working on data, right?
Yes, they are. Currently, it is only internally available, but it will be publicly available once the tool is ready.
Yeah. Okay. Looking forward to that. And maybe we'll take a last question in the chat. Out of all the years that the Ninth Age was doomed, when was the most doomed?
Tomorrow. Tomorrow is always the most doomed day.
It's got to be the year when Old World was announced.
Yeah.
And that was what, 6 years ago?
How did you feel that?
Most...
What was maybe your reaction at the time, just when you hear that?
Well, the reaction was, good, we'll get new models.
Well, for us, business as usual.
There was no fear from you that you're going to lose the entire community and the game was just going to die?
Not really, no.
Well, no, we trusted Games Workshop to do awful rules.
Yeah.
So,
they're good for that.
But I think if you're relying on people staying with you because they have no other choice, that's never going to be the right way to ask people to buy into the game. We know people will move on, we know people will try other games, and some people will like other games more, and that's fine, but we have to hold to trying to do our best to make the game that we've been working on and that everyone's contributed to. So yeah, stick with it.
Yeah, I love the approach. Was what I've been hearing tonight. I found that very interesting until now. That it's very the game belonging to everyone, and everyone is free to join and to help the game in the way they can. And I think that could be a good conclusion to the live, to say, guys, if you have ideas, if you have a bit of spare time, you are maybe sometimes complaining about the game, then try to get involved. You might be able to fix what you don't like. You might be able to bring some new ideas and new things in the game, and you might also help the game evolve and move forward. So I think people shouldn't be too afraid to get involved.
More of that, it's fun.
Yeah, that's important as well, indeed. Guys, I have finished all the questions. This has been quite long already. Do you have any things to add before we conclude? Maybe a final word that you would like to say?
The final word would be something impactful. Well, you know what? I'm gonna give the viewers something.
Yeah.
We went all around the special characters, how they will be in the lore, etc. I will give you this. They will be coming to the game mechanically at some point.
Awesome. Really happy to hear that. I'm personally really happy to hear that. And I think other viewers will be too. So great. That's awesome.
I think if I was going to say something, I'd just say thank you to everyone who plays the game, who follows it, who puts their trust in the staff, and people that I've met at tournaments over the last 10 years. It's been a fantastic journey, and we get to do something we love. We get to volunteer, but other people play it and make it possible. So thank you to everyone.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we can do the opposite. I've seen a lot of thank yous in the chat, and I know from the community I'm involved within that people are thankful. Even if you might read on open forum a lot of criticism and unhappy, I think that it is something that we often hear in various areas. I think it's the majority might be very, how you should say that in English, but might be very still. In a way, and the minority might be very loud, and I think we shouldn't be mistaken by that. Most of the players are really happy about the game, enjoy it, and are thankful for the time you guys involve and the rest of the you guys invest, and also the rest of the staff as well.
We are thankful for all the players that keep playing our game.
Excellent. Fawcett is Muse, you're next.
No, she will be last because
she will be last. Yeah.
She has precedence, so she will give the last word. Just like at home, that's my wife who always had the last word. But I would like to add that it's not only the players who are important for ninth age. I mean, even myself, I hardly play any game, and I know many other people who are on the forum, but they are developing the background. They are taking care of the hobby part, painting and modeling. They are not playing. Still, they are on the ninth age. Why? Because this is our game. This is our community. There is no company who is ever going to tell them, go and buy me models or go and play my games. Or no, this is our community. And everybody, even if you're not playing the game, you have something that you can join the team, do something very useful of your time, and have fun yourself. So this is what I've been doing for the last 10 years mostly. And I can tell you, I intend to keep going on.
Awesome.
So now is Muse. You have the last word.
What a pressure.
Yeah, that was good, huh?
You guys are so great. But really, I just want to echo the words before me, because yes, this is our game, this is our community, and this is what we do together. Because this is not a one-man show. It can never be a one-man show.
Excellent. Yeah, I can only second that, and there is nothing best that I can add that you just guys said. I think a lot has been said tonight. I've liked a lot the possibility to talk with you guys live on the channel. I think players have liked to, and I know that the vast majority of the viewers will show that afterwards, will see that afterwards, watch it and like it as well. I will be looking forward also to see the reaction in the forum, in the comment section as well from the chat. So yeah, thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot for those honest answers, and also to give us insight of the project, because myself, I'm part of the staff technically, but I didn't know most of the stuff that I hear tonight, and I think that might be even more the case for the players. So I think that was an interesting insight in the project, and thank you for all those explanations.
Thank you.
Thank you for
hosting.
having us. Yeah.
Goodbye, and see you on the battlefield or on the forum.
Exactly. See you guys around. Thanks for watching this live session.
Good night.